That is how I understand the Africa Continental Free Trade Area signed in Kigali, Rwanda in the year 2018, which tells us that we must now unite. That is how I understand the Yamoussoukro Agreement, which say that the African skies must be open. That is how I understand the Maputo Protocol. That is how I understand all these protocols. That is how I even understood that earlier the Lagos Plan of Action of 1980 of ensuring that Africa grows as one unit. Today, when we talk about Pan-Africanism, we must remind ourselves that Pan-Africanism is about uniting us. We must tell ourselves whether we are Africans in the mother continent, or we are Africans in the United States of America, or we are Africans in the Caribbean, whether you are in Jamaica, or Barbados, or Barbuda, or in Brazil, or in Europe, Africans in the diaspora. We are saying that the time is now when Africa must begin to rethink. We are telling ourselves that the parties that invoked the name of Pan-Africanism must now revive. Every political party in Africa must now ask the question, when will we dissolve all these boundaries? When will it be possible in the spirit of Pan-Africanism that I can move without let and hindrance from Johannesburg in South Africa through to Namibia, and from Namibia through to Lesotho, and from Lesotho through to Eswatini, and from Eswatini through to Mozambique, and from Mozambique through to Zimbabwe, and from Zimbabwe through to Angola, and from Angola to Equatorial Guinea, and from Equatorial Guinea I can move to Malawi and Zambia and have a detour of the Comoros, and from Comoros to Madagascar and to the Seychelles. And as I come up, I'm able to move into Tanzania and to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I don't stop there. I move to Uganda, and I move to Rwanda and to Burundi and to Nairobi, move to Eritrea and to Somalia, and I don't stop there. I go to Djibouti, and from there I move to South Sudan and to Sudan, and I don't stop there. I go to Egypt, and I go to Tunisia, and I don't stop there. And I come down into Algeria, and I don't stop there. And I go to Morocco, and I don't stop there. And I go to Gambia, and I don't stop there. And I go to Senegal, and I go to Mauritania, and I go to Niger, and I go to Nigeria, and I go to Burkina Faso, and I don't stop there. I come to Central African Republic, I come to Cameroon, I come to Ambazonia, to Togo, Benin, to Liberia, and to Sierra Leone, and Guinea-Bissau, and to Liberia, so that I don't need a passport to move in that way. Today, Africa has currencies, which none of which is called a hard currency. We are here during the corona, and some of us are now trying to hoard dollars because our countries mean nothing outside of our boundaries. I look forward to the day, because that is what Pan-Africanism is all about. I look forward to the day when there is only one currency, and that currency, whether you call it Afro or you call it any other name, it is a currency that we can use. I look forward to the day when the South Africans will not be threatened by the Nigerians, or the Ghanaians threatened by the Nigerians. I look forward to the day when I can set shop in Cape Town and nothing happens. And that is how I understand latter-day Pan-Africans such as Thomas Isidore Sankara. Thomas Isidore Sankara took power in 1985, 1983, and within 5 years, he had come up and was speaking a different language. Sometimes when we talk about Thomas Sankara, we think he was the age mate of Kwame Nkrumah. He lived in our lifetime, but he used the opportunity of energizing the process of Pan-Africanism. That is why I understand latter-day Pan-Africanists such as my good friend Julius Silo Malema, who on a daily basis are telling Africans that our only salvation lies in our unity. are reminding us that we cannot survive the onslaught of the Chinese if we are disunited. We cannot realize our potential if we are disunited. I hold the view that Pan-Africanism is our avenue to success. I hold the view that Pan-Africanism must now be understood not differently, but in the manner that it was conceived by Kwame Nkrumah, in the manner that was understood by Julius Kambarage Nyerere. But Kwame Nkrumah is not telling us from the grave that his ideas are set in stone. Kwame Nkrumah is telling us that you, the younger generation, must now take the baton. And this brings me to the speech that I started with. The speech that was delivered on the 6th day of March, 1997 by Julius Kambarage Nyerere had stopped at a point when Mwalimu had said that our salvation demanded that we are united. And he said, if Africans think that they can respect their so-called boundaries in these little unviable countries, then God save them. But God is not in the business of saving those who have chosen to embrace stupidity for its own sake, Mwalimu said. Mwalimu said that when he retired as the president of Tanzania, whenever he went out and he was introduced as the president of Tanzania, some in his audience asked, and what is Tanzania? Is Tanzania next to Johannesburg? They do not know, Mwalimu said. But they recognized the fact that he was an African. He reminded us that it is not our Tanzanian-ness that matters. It is not our Kenyan-ness. It is not our Ugandan-ness or South African-ness or Namibian-ness or Angola-ness that matters. It is our African-ness. When the Chinese are punishing our Africans in Guangzhou, in China, during this corona period, they make no distinction between Nigerian and Ghanaian and Kenyan. All they see is our black skin. When we are being humiliated in European airports and are being asked for all manner of vaccination, and I suspect that in the coming future, we will not go to Europe unless we have a vaccine which is manufactured by Roche or some other pharmaceutical company in Europe. We will not be allowed to go into that part of the world. When our great sons and daughters in the diaspora are being humiliated in the United States of America or in Brazil, they are not asking whether they are Ghanaians or whether they are Guineans or whether they are Central African Republicans. They are saying these are Africans, they are of one stock. Mwalimu said, and he said that our generation may have been successful in midwifing the process of independence. The time is now that you, younger generation, must now take the baton and ensure that all these little organizations that you have created, East African Community, SADC, ECOWAS, Maghreb, Central African Unity, combine them into one so that Africa can be united. And we are not being naive in saying that we will be united immediately. We must begin to move in the direction.